Patient chart. File number 001. Name: humanity. Condition: critical. A systemic infection of unknown origin is observed. Symptoms include acute autoimmune conflicts, progressive neurological disorders, and suppression of cellular resistance. The patient's self-diagnosis consists of multiple unrelated political and social diseases. Our analysis indicates a single pathogen, a sentient virus. We will now proceed with a detailed description of the pathogenesis. Any successful infection begins with the weakening of the host. The virus alters the surrounding environment, making it more hostile to the organism and more hospitable to itself. Symptom 1.1. Acoustic contamination. We have recorded the deployment of high-frequency sound sources into the patient's living spaces. LED lamps, fire alarms. They generate a constant, inaudible hum in the 10 to 15 kilohertz range. This is not a side effect. This is a psychoacoustic weapon, a constant assault on the nervous system, inducing unexplained anxiety, aggression, and illness. The signal can be modulated through the central power grid, turning every light bulb into a generator for a desired emotion, fear, hatred, or apathy. Symptom 1.2. Chemical contamination. The patient's atmosphere is being saturated with heavy metal aerosols. Officially, this is called geo-engineering. Functionally, it is the preparation of the organism for the next phase of the attack. Symptom 1.3. Electromagnetic contamination. Across the patient's habitat, 5G repeaters have been installed, disguised as smart streetlights. The radiation itself suppresses the immune system, but their primary function is something else. This is a complex three-stage assault. First, chemical poisoning through the air. Then, the activation of the metallic particles via an electromagnetic pulse. The patient experiences internal burns, which its own physicians diagnose as pneumonia.
After weakening the external defenses, the virus proceeds to direct infection, the delivery of its payload. In the year 2020, a global operation was conducted for the coercive injection of RNA-based substances under the guise of vaccination. These substances contain programmable nanostructures, which, according to our data, are the dormant agents of the virus. Activation of these agents occurs upon irradiation with a specific frequency, the same frequency broadcast by the 5G repeaters. Upon activation, the nanostructures begin to self-assemble, forming alien fibrous tissues within the host organism. Pathologists who possess the courage to study these formations describe them as something that does not belong to human biology. The goal is not immediate termination. That is inefficient. The goal is the internal transformation of the host, to turn it into an incubator for the virus. The most elegant aspect of this infection is its capacity for neuro-linguistic programming. The virus does not just attack the body, it hijacks the mind. The primary vector is the media broadcast, television, social media. These are used to implant false narratives into the patient's collective consciousness. The chief among these is the narrative of enemies. The virus convinces different parts of the organism to view each other as threats. Nation A and Nation B, led by leaders who are merely puppets, begin a war. This is a classic autoimmune reaction. The organism's own immune cells begin to attack its healthy tissues. The host exhausts itself, spending its resources on a meaningless internal conflict. During this time, the virus replicates unimpeded. Anyone who attempts to point out the true nature of the disease is labeled a traitor or insane. The programming is so deep that the patient does not see the obvious contradictions. It believes that its leader, who is poisoning its atmosphere and its economy, wishes it well. It believes that killing its neighbor is patriotism. This is the sign of a complete takeover of cognitive functions. The organism is attempting to fight back. We are recording attempts at an immune response. Primary response, fever. This is rage, hatred, calls for violence against the puppets, the politicians, the police. This is a natural reaction. The organism raises its temperature, trying to burn out the infection. But this reaction is primitive and self-destructive. The fever exhausts and kills the host just as surely as the virus. The virus feeds on the energy of this anger. It provokes it. Secondary response, apathy. This is the organism's attempt to remain calm, to isolate itself from external stimuli. This is also a false path. In a state of calm and apathy, the organism ceases to fight, allowing the virus to penetrate the deepest systems unimpeded. Prognosis. If the patient's immune response remains at this primitive level, fever or apathy, the outcome is terminal. But there is a third, potential path: the formation of specific metaphysical antibodies. This is not anger, it is cold awareness, the awareness that the enemy is not the puppet, but the puppeteer, not the politician, but the virus that controls him. It is non-participation, the refusal to take part in the autoimmune war, the refusal to consume the toxic information feed. It is a change in attitude. To cease respecting authority is to deprive the virus of its primary instrument of control. To cease being afraid is to deprive it of its food. This is the only path to recovery, not to kill the symptoms, but to develop an immunity to the pathogen itself, to the lie. The patient is still alive. The immune system, though suppressed, is still functional. The chance to produce antibodies remains. Our observation continues. End of protocol.